Hi, good evening. It is May 10th and it's Make It Monday. I am so happy to be back with you this week, and I have the three projects that everybody can pick up for the class starting tomorrow. So let's get started. I have a lot to show you and a very little time to do it. Before I switch over, though, I do want to announce the winner from the last drawing, which was 2 weeks ago. And that was Talara Crumrow. So congratulations, Talara. You will be getting a pack of our new round and square brads. They're black and white brads. Very excited about these. So that will be in your bag. And then don't forget to comment tonight and share this. I'm going to be showing you some new stamp sets tonight. And I'm going to be giving away our silver and clear epoxy droplets. I love these things. So yeah, you'll have to check this out. I use those in our stamps in the mail on steroids on our event on Saturday, and they're just very cool. Okay, so let me switch over to the other screen, and I'm going to start with, whoops, it didn't work. I'm going to start with showing you this card. Now, I did show you last time, I showed you some things with this wrapped bouquet, and I'm excited this time to show you. I told you that I wouldn't give you this little. This is a card that opens, and it has several openings to it. So let me get started with that. First of all, we're going to stamp the flower for in the bouquet. And so I have this set up. It looks a little messy because of the paper that's under it here, but I have it set up so that all of my pieces are die cut, and you just pop that in there. Make sure everything's up in the corner, and then I'm using Memento Black to ink my stamp that I already have on here. And then again, making sure everything stayed up in the corner. I'm going to close that and give a little press. And hopefully we'll have a beautiful image. All right, so there, that's ready. I am going to take this and I'm going to color in. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of my pieces here. So my background piece is just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 square. And then this piece, which we have textured with the textile embossing folder, is 4 by 5 1/4. And this piece I cut at 6 inches by 3 inches, and I scored it at 1/2 of an inch. So, because I want this to be, let me think, it's not 6 inches. It is 5 3/4. Yeah, because I just scored that at a 1/2 an inch so that that would tuck underneath there. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I seriously have no adhesive in here. All right, I guess we're using green glue today. Not sure where it got to. I think it got moved out with all the other stuff when I finished class. So I'm just tucking that under here, and I'm just going to lay this in place so that that gets glued in place. My finger wanted to bring half of the paper with it. Excuse me. Okay, so let me just get some adhesive on this piece now. And I do need to tuck under one more piece before I stick that down. And this piece I also scored at a 1/2 an inch from the side here. And so that's going to tuck under. Oops, I forgot to turn my phone off. Let me see where I want to stick that. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and stick this one in place. problem with these cards is you have to remember what all needs to go to get glued down first whenever you're having several openings. All right, so I have that tucked under there. And it looks a little crooked for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, now there's that part. And then I cut this with the Sentimental dies. And this is Blushing Bride to match our Blushing Bride designer paper here. That's out the, I think it's called Oh So Good texture paper. It's carrying over from the last catalog. So it has all those different wood grains and textures and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down to here. Okay. All right, so we can see we have our opening, as I showed you at the beginning. And I want to show you this little piece again, in case you'd missed it last time. I only stamped on one side of this, and I should have probably done both. But it has the scoring on it already to do the fold like a wrap. And so I'm just going to do it backwards here. And then it's like a little newspaper wrap for your gorgeous bouquet of flowers. All right, so let me just show you really quickly how I did some of the coloring. I used our blends, and I'm using Petal Pink, Daffodil Delight, and this one is the Light Soft Succulent. So that's a really pretty color. All right, let me get this out of the way here. So I'm just doing a hint of yellow on, so I'm just using the lightest colors here. And I just went through and just dabbed a little bit of yellow on these tiny little flowers. And this will just add a touch of yellow to our card. And then I'm going to come in with the light Petal Pink and just get some pink on here. And I am going to use the darker shade of that as well. I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of my lighter shade put on. And then we will just highlight that with a little bit of the darker shading in here. There we go. All right, and I just saw two little flowers here that I missed. Forgot these little guys up here. Okay, and then, oh, the other thing that I did, I also have, I forgot to tell you, I have the light crumb cake in here. And what I did, because I want these flowers to stay white, but because of all of this white in here, they don't look very white. So what I did was I came in with my light crumb cake and I just filled in, instead of trying to sponge that space, I just came in here with my light blend and filled in everything that wasn't white, or that is white that I don't want white. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of that on screen for you because you'll be able to figure out exactly what to do there. So you'll just go around everything that's white that you don't want white, especially around these white flowers here. In fact, I think I went back, whoops, it's a little hard to do on camera. I went back over because I really want that to be a little darker around there, so that you see how that brings that flower out a lot more. Now, the other thing that I did was I took the Soft Succulent, and this time I'm going to use the dark one. And here where my leaves are black with white lines, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to just turn those white lines green. And it's going to make that whole leaf look like it's green now, even though I'm not coloring that whole leaf in. I'm just coloring those lines. it's going to change the whole look of that leaf. Okay, so that's how I did that. All right, so I'm going to do even these little leaves here. Anything that's a leaf is going to get that green on it because I want it to look green and not black. And this is, again, the soft succulent dark. I might as well finish this while I'm doing that one. All right, so the only thing this needs yet is the rest of the crumb cake around the edges, and then that will be finished. Okay, so then basically what I did was I glued this together. So you'll put your green glue in here and just hold that together for a little while. Make sure you hold it for the first time for about 5 minutes, because if you don't get it right the first time, green glue sticks really well, but if it doesn't stick good the first time, it tends to be more tacky and will not be sticky for you. So then I just created my bouquet like this. You'll tuck that in place and then just start piecing all of your little leaves. I cut 2 of the dark green. It's called Evening Evergreen. So you can put 2 of those behind here. And I just put a little touch of glue on it, just on the tip, and just tuck that behind. And you just tuck them in place until you have them exactly where you want them. And then I also have these little pieces. They're all from this wrapped bouquet bundle. So once you have your bouquet made, then you're ready to adhere it. And I will tell you, you want to make sure on your card that you're only adhering to this flap that moves, because if you adhere it to here and here, you're not going to be able to open your card. All right, so just be a little careful when you go to glue this down that you only glue on this pink part right here. Okay? All right, then you have a little tag cut out, and I have, somewhere, I have a saying for that, but I don't see it. It must still be in here. Oh no, there it is. I see it. I have the for you, and you'll just stamp that on the tag. And I did try to make this nice and straight according to the block and not the stamp. So I'm going to try to do this and not knock my camera out of whack. I'm not sure how straight that is. Not terrible. Okay. And then I do have a piece of our, Blushing Bride cord, and that will tie on there. And then I just tucked, I tied that in a bow. I'll go ahead and do that for you. You know how fun it is to do that on camera, right? And then I just put a little baby dimensional on the back of that. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick that on here. And I'm just going to tuck it right there because that has an empty spot. And then you can tie this. It looks like you've got everything tied together. And you're good to go. Now, of course, I didn't glue this yet, but you get the idea. Okay, so when I glue this down, I'm going to only glue in this section right here. Okay, so that everything lifts together, and then I will be able to write my saying underneath here. And what I did, because I remember I told you that this has embossing on it, what I did was I took my bone folder and I just smoothed this area out so that I'll be able to write and it won't have a real bumpy surface. Okay, so you can do that just to flatten out your area there. All right, let's jump to the next one real quick. This one that out of the way. This one is using a new stamp set, and it's called Color and Contour. And the designer paper is just stunningly gorgeous. The stamp set looks like this, and the dies look like this. Lots of fun there. Lots of great scallops, even a large scallop for an edge. So there's lots of things that you can do with this set. What we're doing is, once again, we're going to stamp. I have this piece cut out, and we are going to put our cutout piece into our little hole here and ink that up with memento. And once again, make sure that's in the corner well, and give that a little press, and we're good to go. All right, so what I did to color this one is I actually just used our new in color markers, and I do want to grab a couple other things here. Okay, here's our other pieces. All right, so I'm using soft succulent again, and the pale papaya. Now, I will tell you that when we're going to add the fine tip glue, which is like adding crystal effects, and when you do that, you do get a little bit different shade. So I am, don't forget, I just stamped this with memento ink. Memento runs with water-based things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just throwing some color in here, but I'm staying away from the lines. So I'm not going to color it in completely. And the nice thing about that is that this design lends itself to that, because as you see, it's not a solid line image. In other words, it's just sort of a more like an artist just took a pen and whipped a couple shapes together and made the flowers. So that allows me some latitude here that I don't have to completely color this in. So hopefully you can see there how I just sort of scribbled it in. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. Just going to come in here and add a little bit of green. There's a leaf right here. Don't forget that one. And then I will throw some color there. Okay. All right. Now, before you put your crystal effects on, you probably want to put everything together. And there is a speckle stamp in the set, and I speckled the edge with that stamp. And then I used that die set that you saw to cut this piece out. And I'm really not happy that I don't have my regular adhesive here. So this piece is going to go just behind here to add a little bit of extra color and design to the card. And this is our Misty Moonlight blue, so it goes really well with this green, but it also goes well with the designer paper. So you can see the green and the blue in there. And then my saying, you can put whatever saying that you want on here. I'm not going to do that right now, but I will show you the sayings in the set, which are really nice. You're absolutely amazing. Here for you now. So very happy for you. Thank you for everything. And then, and in better day, here for you now and in better days ahead. So I just inked the better days ahead and stamped that and cut that out for my card. Okay. So what you will do is go ahead and pop this up on your blue piece. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because that has to be done before we put our crystal effects on. Either that, or you could put your crystal effects on and come back in a couple of hours and put your card together, whichever you decide to do. You can certainly do that. And then if you'll take your fine tip glue and just take off the white cap and just squeeze a decent amount, there's that one done. I'm going to just squeeze and just go around this flower till I have everything filled in that I want. And I'm going to do the same with this flower. This fine tip glue bottle is so perfect. It has taken Crystal Effects to a whole new level. And it's still not called Crystal Effects, guys. It's called fine tip glue. But I'm going to tell you that it's the same stuff that we have in our Crystal Effects bottle that we used to have. So it's just that sort of shellacky, shiny, clear. And make sure, if you have this bottle, make sure that you get that pin back down into that cap. Otherwise, it's going to get blocked up for you. And then once that's completely dry, I'll put that all together and I'll put my bow on. Okay? And then you can stick that together how you like it. I'm going to put this back because I always stick my hands in it. Oh, before I do that, I will tell you, in your packet, you have one of our gems from the, oh, now I'm going to forget what they're called. I have to look. Genial gems. They're yellow and green. And this, I gave you the green one. And I'm going to just pop, oops, I think I just lost it. Oh no, there it is. It popped off all right. So that goes nicely with the green background. Okay. Let me put that aside. All right, and the third card is it's a brand new set as well, and it's called Bamboo Beauty, and I think it is quite that. I think bamboo is just so stunningly gorgeous. And so this is how we're going to do this card. So the first thing we need to do is stamp these images, and then we'll run it through the brick embossing folder. All right. So let's see. Did I save any to do? I don't think I did, guys. I think I stamped it already. Sorry about that. But I used just the narrow piece of bamboo, and I inked it with early espresso, and I stamped it, and I inked it, and I stamped it again. And then I used the leaf, the larger leaf part of the bamboo, and I inked that in shaded spruce, because the paper that I used is mint macaron. And so shaded spruce and mint macaron go so nicely together, and it goes with brown really well. So, so then I stamped that. And then I did run that through the brick embossing folder. And then for the saying, I used the So Sentimental dies again. And I'm going to explain to you how I set that up on my thing, because I felt like I really have trouble stamping in these square spaces. Really have trouble getting them straight. So what I did was I went ahead and die cut a piece in here. I tried to die cut it fairly nice and straight. And then I set my stamp in it and picked it up. But then I was able to look at the lines here on this plate to make sure that it looked straight. And once that seemed like it was lined up, I tried it on my scrap paper. And once that looked good, I stuck in my little die cut piece. And then I inked that with early espresso, which for some reason does not happen to be in here. So I'm going to use black. And this is a stamp from the set. It says, "A true friend is the one who holds your hand and touches your heart," from Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And then I added some of our gold gilded gems, just for a little touch of shimmer on this card. So I hope you enjoy that. And this card opens like this, and I do need to put it inside in here, of course, so that I can send that. I apologize, I did not do that on your cards, but you can certainly add a later space in there so that you can put your sentiment, okay? All right, hopefully that's helpful in getting your words lined up. There's just nothing worse than a card with crooked words on the front to really stimulate you to expect not great things on the inside, right? Okay, that is it, guys. I hope that you will enjoy making those. I will let you know that in your packet you should have a large one and two smaller ones, and that's how they'll go on there. Okay, so the large one goes in the center. All right, so happy stamping, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks, heading for Maui on Saturday. Lord willing, everything goes well, paperwork goes through, and then I will be gone for a week and a half, and I probably will not have time to get anything recorded before then. So happy stamping. God bless. Thank you so much for being wonderful customers and for getting me on this trip. All right, take care.